thank you guys for coming out. We're excited to get started. We have no idea what we are just yet. This is a very different year for WKU volleyball. We're young, we're inexperienced, we're trying to figure out who we are in a lot of ways, and so we're excited to go play to start answering some questions. I really, really like this team a lot. It is a great group of kids to be in the gym with every day. It's a talented group of kids. And as I've told them, I know we're going to be a really good volleyball team. It's just a matter of how quickly we can make that happen. Right now, we don't know if we are or not. We have a lot of things that we just simply haven't been able to cover yet with so many young players, and certainly things that we haven't been able to install and drill and do all the things that we need to do to be ready. So we're a way different team than we've been the last couple years, but that difference is not necessarily in talent level. Our talent level is really good, and our kids are working hard, and we're making up ground as fast as we can. It's just a matter of when all the pieces come together. As I told them in a meeting this morning, I know what the end result's going to look like. It's just a matter of can it happen in the next week or two, or will it be in the next month or two? And I think that's the big question that we have in front of us right now.
Travis, I always consider it a high compliment on media day the student athletes that are brought. Mm-hmm. So with Rachel and Mary, I see them play, so I know their skills. Mm-hmm. As a coach, what makes them special and so enjoyable to coach them that we don't see?
Well, when you have such a young team, you spend a lot of time as a coach talking to young kids about what it means to be a part of our program and how we want you to carry yourselves and how we want you to interact with people on this campus and in the community. And I'm very blessed this year that I have two seniors up here beside me that's who they are, and they're perfect examples of what we want our young players to grow into. These are two kids that have spent their whole career being about their teammates and about this program, and they're just great reflections of what we want people to think WKU volleyball is about.
Run down this non-conference schedule, Bill. What are some of the tougher games you already have this fall?
Just start at the top and work your way through it. It's we've never had a schedule. We've had a schedule that had some big-time opponents on it. I don't think we've ever put a schedule together that was as unrelenting in terms of when you look at the RPI of these teams returning. This weekend's a perfect example. When you look at this tournament this weekend, you see Alabama, you see College of Charleston, Missouri State, a couple mid-majors like us, and you think, okay, well, College of Charleston and Missouri State were both NCAA tournament teams a year ago. And, the lowest RPI from last year in this tournament this weekend is 65 out of the 4 teams. And that's just kind of how this schedule's put together. There's not a ton of, top 10, top 5 opponents on there. There's not a lot of that, but there's also no show up and feel better about yourself matches in there. And that's going to be the biggest challenge for our team is can we show up every day and come off a situation where we may have got bounced around a little bit and be ready to bounce back and play at a high level. And this schedule is just unrelenting. It really is. Every weekend tournament is filled with teams that if you go track RPIs from a year ago, or teams that, we talked about as a team, 328 Division I schools, 326, somewhere around there, Division I schools. And so if you go top half and bottom half, top 160 and bottom 160, I bet 90% of our non-conference schedules in the top half of college volleyball. And is this team ready to do that? I don't know. But what I do know is if we're going to give ourselves a chance to be in that large consideration again, it's a schedule we have to play. And if we're not ready for it, then we'll figure that out soon enough, and we'll get ourselves ready for conference play.
Mary, what do you all want to accomplish these first few weeks of the season facing a lot of these tough non-conference teams?
We would just like to go out and work hard and play very hard. We know that not everything is meshed together, where we lost a lot of veterans last year, but I think the biggest thing for us is just to go out, work hard, and then the rest will fall into place.
Rachel, when I've seen you guys scrimmage, a lot of these players that you practice with, I was watching for the first time, and I get excited when I see what Katie Eisenberger can do, when Lauren Matthews can do. As a senior, how excited are you about the potential of your young players? At the same time, do you kind of guard against yourself that you don't want to rush them as well? Does that part make sense as well?
Yeah, I mean, they're both like tremendous athletes. They can do so much, and just in the first 2 weeks of practice, they've been thrown on the outside, in the middle, and the right side, and every position they're in, they excel at. And I think it's just awesome that they're so diverse, and it says a lot just about our team this year that anyone could play anywhere, and you're never going to be shorthanded of if we need a position that we know someone can fill it. And they've both done great this season, and they're going to be some pretty good athletes here. So,
Mary, can I ask you, you heard what Coach Hudson said about his thoughts on the team just in general, but as a senior, do you have to balance how excited you are about the talent, and at the same time, they're going through what you've gone through. So is it kind of a thing where, you don't want to rush them, but at the same time, you realize the importance to the team? And I know I rambled, but I hope that question made sense.
Yeah, well, like Rachel said, they're great talent, great girls. I love them a lot, like as human beings, all around great people. And I think like this year where we're just jumping right into it, we don't have a lot of older girls this year. It's just me and Rachel, the two seniors. So it's kind of like for us, how can we prepare them earlier because our start to our schedule is so quick and stuff like that. But I think just over time as we go throughout our conference schedule and even probably later into pre-conference that they're going to be tremendous athletes.
Travis, can I put you on the spot? As of right now, August 22nd, you want to name more than one, that's fine. But returning players, who looks the most improved on this date compared to the end of the season last year?
Well, that's going to be one of the real critical things for this team being so young is the returning players we do have, and we have 2 seniors, 2 juniors on our roster. We had more seniors last year than we have juniors and seniors this year. So, it's important that all these kids come back better players, and it's one of the things that gives me confidence moving forward with this group is they are. Mary Martin is a way better player than Mary Martin's ever been here. Hallie Shelton is a really improved kid from a year ago, light years different. Sophia Sereno's a kid that we need to play well. She's a kid that's kind of been stuck behind some seniors, some really good seniors for the last couple years, has done some really dynamic things for us at the service line, and we need her to take that to the net and finish some plays for us at the net. And all those kids are better players, and that's what you hope to be able to do from year to year. And when you strictly take a step back and look at where are they today compared to where were they in November, it's not hard to see the difference in them as players, and that's a very important piece to this. We need some young players to step in and contribute right away, and we need these returning players to be kids that we can lean on.
Rachel, I'm going to go back. I was impressed with you guys during Volleyball 101, and I got some pretty good video. And Mary, this question's coming to you too, but when you were working with those young kids, that bring back some memories?
Oh yeah. My freshman year, Noelle Langenkamp was the middle here, and she was just a great role model person, like who she was as a person and on the court, and that was definitely something that I'm aiming to do for these younger girls this year. And now that there's 2 of them, that's a little bit more of a role, but I just want to go out and play my game so that they can see how things are done here. And so far they've done great. Like, they can do a lot more than me along the net, but that's something that's going to be good for them over the years.
Same thing. I mean, it kind of takes you back. Like, it feels like freshman year for me was a really long time ago, but having these new girls come in every year and thinking back to when I was a freshman and how the seniors treated us, and I just think like it kind of throws you back into it a little bit. Like I remember my freshman year and stuff like that, and I just want to be a consistent person and kind of help them along the way in anything that they really need.
Travis, knowing you, you know this question's coming, but it's personal. How are you feeling?
Oh, that's a bad day to ask that question, Mike. It's no, it's okay. It's two-a-days have been really hard for me. You know, I'm doing fine. I feel fine. It just takes me, and you know, patience has not exactly always been my strong suit. And you know, they've made it clear to me that when you have a major heart attack like I had, that it's going to take time for your stamina to build back. And I had worked really hard over the summer to try to get myself as ready for two-a-days as possible, but there's nothing, they will tell you, there's nothing that gets you ready for two-a-days. And so I've been able to make it through them, but man, by the end of the day, I don't know that I'm that much fun with my kids right now. When I get home, I'm pretty wiped out. But two-a-days are finally behind us now, and so you know we'll get into the rhythm of the season now, and hopefully you know it'll be something that I bounce back from a little bit. So it's been tough. It's been really tough, but you know, just tell them to go play well this weekend, make life easier on me.
Travis, a follow-up. I've always been impressed since I got here with your staff, with Christy, Greg, and Bree. I don't want to ask if you have greater appreciation for them, but do they have a little bit of different marching orders dealing with you? And has your appreciation even grown more than what they've?
Well, I'm so blessed to have a staff that's so good. I mean, this staff is comparable to, I don't know where I am in terms of other head coaches in the country, but I know that my assistant coaches are as good as anybody has. And, you know, they could be head coaches themselves. And, you know, it's been a really great combination of things because they're competent coaches. They're really talented at what they do, but they're really great friends of mine as well. Our families are close and we care a lot about each other. And so, you know, it's been a deal where we've all just kind of had to lock arms and figure our way through it. You know, some days are better than others and harder than others, but we've always got someone who can step in and do what needs to be done. And so my appreciation for them has always been at a really high level, but it continues to grow watching them, you know, in the moments when I'm not able to do certain things, step in and do it probably as well or better than I could have.
Travis, when you have a younger team like this, do you kind of look forward to the challenge of maybe having to coach them up a little bit more?
Yeah.
What an experience.
Well, I'll tell you this, it's a lot, it's fun. It really is fun. The only thing I don't look forward to is the impatience from our fan base, probably. It's a lot of fun for me. I am strong in my conviction as to what this team will be this year. And there's just so many unknowns. We could go down there this weekend. We're talented enough to go down there this weekend and win a lot of games. We're also vulnerable enough to go down there this weekend and not win any. And, you know, that's troublesome. If we go down there and don't play well, don't win many matches this weekend, that's troublesome if you're looking at your locker room and you don't know what to do about it. But we've got answers. We've got kids that can really play. We're a little bit banged up right now. We're going to have to, you know, kind of deal with that on a thin roster anyway. But there's not a lot that can happen this weekend that'll discourage me over the long haul. It's just, as I told them, I'm sure of what we'll be come mid-October. I'm not sure what we are right now, and if we truly want to do what we've done in past years and give ourselves an at-large opportunity, we got to be good right away. So they got to grow up real fast. If we're not, that's okay too. Let's just keep grinding and, you know, do what teams normally do when they're in the mid-major ranks, and that's continue to get better and get ready for conference play. And you know, if I played us, I'd want to play us right now. I certainly wouldn't want to play us come mid to late October because we've got all the ingredients. We're talented. We've got great kids. They work hard. I'm really strong in my conviction of what will be. I just don't know when it'll be. And it literally could be as soon as this weekend. It may be 3 weeks down the road. But there will come a time where you won't want to show up and diddle.
Rachel, kind of to piggyback on what Coach Hudson just said, we've heard the head coach's perspective on that. You're one of the seniors, one of the players. Do you feel the same way Coach Hudson does from a player's perspective? If so, why?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have the pieces in every position, and just depends on who's going to play where and who's going to show up every day. And I think we do have the potential for that. Right now, we're just trying to piece it together day by day and who's going to show up and compete. And I know definitely that's what we need to do this weekend, is just, if we don't have the pieces put together, we just have to go out, fight hard, play, and have fun. And that's definitely our mindset for this weekend.
Rachel, what was your reaction to getting named Conference Preseason Player of the Year?
It was definitely awesome. Just the history that this program has had with that award, and seeing my name next to that was definitely awesome. I'm trying not to let it get to me and just affect my game at all, just going out and being rock solid for this team, because I know that's what I need to do, and not letting that award affect it. So.
What do you think you'll have to do to live up to that? What kind of things do you think you need to do this season for you to have the senior year you won, the team to have the season that they want?
Like I said, I just have to be solid every game, someone that the team can depend on, and I can't really have off games. And I think if I'm solid, then the team will follow that, and we'll end up playing good together and getting wins. So.
What do you think you've worked the most on this offseason?
Definitely my blocking. That's definitely something that has always been a struggle for me, and I think it's slowly getting better. And last year, finally got to block a game, so that was my goal last year, and this year it's the same, maybe a block and some. So.
Travis, do you expect her to be as good of a defensive player this year as she is an offensive player?
Yeah, you know what, Rachel just needs to go be Rachel. She doesn't need to do more. Look, what she's given us the last couple of years, I mean, she leads all players in NCAA volleyball. She is the highest returning hitting percentage of any player in America. And she doesn't have to go do anything superhuman. She just needs to go do the thing that I've always admired the most about Rachel is you always knew what you were going to get. And any coach will tell you the thing that they want the most from their players is to show up on game day and know what you're getting. The ones that drive you nuts are the ones that are, superstars one day and disappear the next. And Rachel's never been that kid. She's always come ready to play. She's a model of consistency. And, does this team need a lot from her? Yes, but you know what? Last year's team needed a lot from her, and she produced those things. And so she doesn't need to change her mindset, or she needs to be. She needs to understand how watched she is this year by her teammates. Because everybody's going to be the tone we have is going to be the tone she sets. I believe that's where she needs to change the most is from years from years gone by. Is I think all eyes were in the past they may have been on Jessica Lucas or Alyssa Kavanaugh or Sydney Engel. They're now going to be on Rachel Anderson, and she needs to be mindful of that. But in terms of what she does as a player, she just needs to go do the things that she's done for our program. If she does that, then I think she'll certainly live up to that award.
Mary, what kind of growth have you seen in Rachel over the past you're almost 4 years together?
I've seen a lot. I mean, she's always been one to just go out and play and do her job, which is what we talk about a lot during volleyball, is just going out, doing your job, doing what you're supposed to do. And I've just seen her grow over the years of being more and more consistent each and every day. And just the tone and the attitude about her on the court, I think, is one big major thing. She'll just go out, do her job. It's not flashy, not all about her, but she just does the things she's supposed to do, and our team follows, and it really helps us out.
Mary, I want to ask you about another teammate, and I think you might know her better than anyone, and that's Katie Shunk. Mm-hmm. What was your reaction when you learned that Katie was coming here, and what can she bring to this team?
Well, I've known her since I was born. She lived up the street from me, and I've known her throughout my whole life. And so when I found out that she was coming here and she's going to be a part of this team, I was really excited because I played club in high school with her. And I think she has a really good serve. And she also is going to bring more depth to this team because, like Travis said, our roster is thin this year, and we're a couple injuries away from having to throw someone else in there in the front row to hit. So I think she will be definitely a great piece for another option if someone got hurt, or even just another player to have to help us out over on the right side, outside, really anywhere.
Travis, can I ask a follow-up about Katie? How much did her skills have in her coming here, and how much of a factor was, Mary's character and the background? Was it a combination of both?
Well, it was a combination of both. I certainly, did my diligence. Katie's high school coach is a former player of mine as well. And, and they all say the same thing, what a great kid she is. And that's been the case in our gym. It was, she was a late addition to our roster. She was enrolled to come to school here anyway. And when we decided we were heading into this thing a little bit thin, we started looking around, and to our surprise, there was a young lady that was enrolled, transferring here, and what a pleasant surprise. She's had a great mindset every day. She comes in and works, does whatever we need her to do, and we're really, really glad to have her. She's an important piece of this thing moving forward.
Mary, after sitting behind Jessica for 3 seasons, and obviously making it a little hard to get on the court, now that you do have a chance to get on the court, what have you learned from kind of being her understudy, and how can you use that during your senior year?
I would definitely say Jess was like a role model to me. She always talked to me, always kind of gave me the insight of what we do here, was a great teammate, worked as hard as she could every single day. And she was a person that you always knew what you were going to get from her. So I think the biggest thing that she gave me was just trying to show, like, as a senior presence now, to like be consistent, be someone that our team can lean on, because that's what we're needing the most right now.
Travis, I'm not asking you to compare teams, but with the newcomers and having the 2 seniors and 2 juniors, in your time here, if you sat there and thought that so far what's happened with this team, does it remind you? Go right ahead.
Very much. I'll tell you, the team it reminds me of so much is our first year in Conference USA 4 years ago, when Jess Lucas and Alyssa Cavanaugh and all those kids were freshmen. We had graduated some significant pieces in Paige Wessel and Ashley Potts and Mel Stutzman and those kids, and all of a sudden we were joining Conference USA, and we were this young, inexperienced, talented team. And the first weekend we went on the road with that team, we opened at UNLV that year in Las Vegas, and just got the dog water beat out of us twice to start the season. And we got on a plane to come home from that trip, and we're 1-2, and I've never been so excited to win a game in my life. We weren't good, and that team proceeded to go on to win 30 matches that year, and turned into an awfully good team. And obviously the careers that those kids had coming off of that, it springboarded them into some really nice careers. And so that team reminds me of this one a lot. The talent, I'm sure of the talent level, I'm sure of what we're capable of. It's kind of like this. This is my challenge to everybody. Okay, obviously everybody knows I'm coming off a pretty horrific off season where there was the high likelihood was going to be that I wasn't sitting here as the head coach of this program. And so given this opportunity to be in front of them, what I'm going to try to do is go out and enjoy this team and get better every day, and really cherish the fact that I'm still sitting here as the head volleyball coach at Western Kentucky. And that's the same challenge I give to our fan base, is to go out and enjoy this team. This is a great group of kids. It's a talented group of kids, and every time you come watch them play, you're going to probably see them do things they couldn't do the week before, because they're talented and they're the right kind of kids. And so everybody just needs to relax and enjoy this season and watch these kids grow, because it is going to be another group of young players that 2 or 3 years down the road, everybody's going to, know their name. At a point in time. That 4 years ago, nobody knew who Alyssa Cavanaugh was when she was out there running around. Alyssa Cavanaugh had no idea what she was doing out there running around. And same with Sydney Engel. And, we had those kids playing positions they had never played. It's so similar to this season. So just go on the ride with us. Enjoy this year. It's going to be, I'm trying to enjoy every single day of this, no matter what the challenges of the season throw in front of us. And, I think that's a great mentality for our fan base to have too. We're a little spoiled around here right now with, 31 2s and 31 3s, and you don't just, I think Coach Saban had an interesting quote the other day I saw about replacing a linebacker that they had, and I would use different words to describe what he's saying, but I absolutely understand what he was trying to say. You know, you don't just slide another jersey on a kid and they can magically do everything the ones before them did. And but if you love coaching like I love coaching, this is the part of it that's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it.
I just have one more. Jess, if he can't answer this, let me know. This is a heads up. Travis, I think I can ask you this because your kids go to this school. But obviously I'm around Christy and I'm around Justin. And I'm just amazed at when I'm at South Warren match, Christy's got the kids here. You know where I'm going to be. Just, I'm impressed with you. With how they handle that. We obviously know the game of volleyball.
Yeah, it's such a unique thing. It's a great story, you know, for Christy to be such a high-level accomplished coach at the collegiate level, and for Justin to be such a high-level accomplished coach at the high school level. And you know, I think Christy is such a role model for our players. I think it's one of the biggest roles that she serves is she is showing, you know, our young women that you can, you know, go be in this profession and be a great mom and be a great wife and support all those different phases of your life, and to see her do that and then still be as driven and as committed to our program as she is, I think sets a really good tone for our players in terms of understanding what they can grow to be as young adults themselves. And it's a little crazy around the Griffin household in the fall with him being in season and her being in season, and you know, it's one of those things where, you know, they're shoveling kids back and forth and trying to figure, you know, everybody's pitching in to help, but they're kids. If you meet, she's got two beautiful boys that are great kids, and you know, watching them grow up and have you know, role models like they do it's really a neat story. It's really neat to see how they balance it all, and sometimes I don't think Christy thinks it's very neat as they're trying to juggle it all on a given day, but to see the level that Christy supports Justin and what he does, and to see the level that he as a dad you know, supports Christy and what she does, I think makes for a really neat story.
Mary, I was watching your reaction to track. I'm asking you, just your perspective, what makes Christy such a good coach? And I have a feeling reading your mind, you're like, I don't know how that woman does it, but you know, take it from there.
Christy definitely, like, you can tell she cares about us so much. Like, she knows if you have a bad day, like, we'll get texts from Christy, long paragraphs about, like, because she went through it. She was a college volleyball player, so she knows all about it, the mindset, how much of a struggle 2 days can be, how much it can wear on you, and she brings so much energy every day, and she just cares about the sport so much and cares about us that she'll even get emotional about it if we're not performing to where we should be. And I just think as a human being all around, just how much she cares for everything around her and how she does balance her lifestyle, it's something to look up to, and hopefully that we can all grow into and be one day.
One more thing about Christy, Travis. Do you remember the moment where you said to yourself, I've got to get her on this staff?
Yeah, she worked for a really good friend of mine, Rick Nold, that's the coach at Auburn University right now. He was coaching at Jacksonville State, and I met her through him, and he and I are very, very close, and so I got to know her, you know, through him, and then, you know, when we had a change on our coaching staff and we were looking to add somebody, Christy's from Southern Indiana, and so I knew she was close, and she had stepped out of the profession actually, and was looking to get back in, so it was a real natural fit for us. And yeah, that interview process wasn't exactly everybody sitting on pins and needles. I still remember walking out into the parking lot when she pulled in, and her getting out of the car, and it was instantaneous. It was like we worked together from the moment she came for the interview, and we've never looked back. We've both been through a lot professionally in the time that she's been here. We've both been through a lot of change, you know, personally in the time that she's been here. Our families have grown, and we've been through some hardships, and it's, I think we have a very healthy respect for one another, and quite honestly a love for one another, you know, almost as family members. And so she's a great role model for sure.
Well, going off Christy real quick more, can you talk about the role that she played in bringing Craig onto the staff, being a former player?
Well, it was an interesting dynamic. It was almost one of those deals where we had to just, I had to communicate to see where she was with it all, because ironically, Craig, my other assistant, was Christy's coach in college, which means he is way older than her. But I don't know how he got so old. And Christy and I are both so very, very young. Do you, Mary? I've known a lot longer than I knew Christy. Craig and I have known each other since we were in college, right after college, and we're both getting into this profession. And what a unique dynamic, you know, when we were able to add him to our staff. You know, he coached Christy in college, and he and I had been friends for a long time. And so there was some really natural dynamics. The hard part early on for Christy was just not feeling like he was her coach anymore, you know, that they were colleagues and that they worked together. And but you know, one of the real pillars of our program is the word respect. And our players know that, and you know, it's one of the things that makes this thing work so well between Craig, Christy, and I. Is I think I speak for them too when I say, you know, we have a tremendous amount of respect for each other as coaches and what we're able to do as coaches, but more respect as human beings in terms of the kinds of moms and dads and, you know, husbands and wives and all those things we are. And so I'm really, really blessed to have a staff like I do.